did had probably started a lot of shit because they had gotten no respect from their own school, the school they'd played and won for. Although the whole team was great, it was these 5 who had led them to glory and who probably got the most attention and, most likely, the attention of these men. Charles knew the broken men on the ground. They didn't live in his little town, but they drove through it when they were on their drug runs. Their American-made motorcycles making rumbling noises that upset those in his pack. These men usually didn't mess with the residents, but maybe it had been too hard to resist. 5 young women in matching bright yellow basketball jerseys and shorts walking down the street. Maybe that had bothered them or enticed them. But when they didn't get the response they wanted, they'd hurt Charles's granddaughter. And that's why they were crumpled into screaming piles 5 feet into Charles's territory. "Up for waffles?" Max asked, and the 4 other girls nodded. "But we should clean up," one of them said, a basketball under her arm, her badger gaze locked on her cursing and sobbing prey. "It's always good to be tidy." "None of that," Charles replied, immediately knowing these girls weren't discussing washing their hands. "You 5 will not be doing any cleaning up of anything." "Well, you shouldn't do it," Max debated. "You're getting old." "It's like you want a paw slap." Another raised her hand to silence them, her head turning, eyes closing. She lifted her nose to the air, sniffed. "They're coming," she finally announced, her voice ominous. Charles immediately knew who they were, and it wasn't his pack. It wasn't more humans. It was a clan. Not the clan, of course, with a K. The clan had come onto their territory once, back in his father's time, to put a stop to the mixed-race utopia going on over there, and were never seen again. But a clan with a capital C. Hyenas. They'd moved into the farm next door to Charles's pack a few years back. Thankfully, neither side gave the other much trouble, but a fight this close to territorial lines could cause all sorts of problems if not handled correctly, especially since one of these basketball players was the half-sister of some of the hyena adults. Although her badger genes overrode anything else inside her, giving her full-on honey badger traits, the clan still believed her to be their property, the way they believed all the male hyenas were their property. At least she would be until she turned 18. Unless she was at basketball practice, the hyenas didn't take kindly to her hanging out with her honey badger teammates outside of school. Charles didn't hesitate. "All of you go back to the pack house, now."
"We aren't leaving you here alone," Max informed him.
Charles wasn't worried, not when he had the perfect distractions right in front of him, still trying to drag their broken bodies away. A few had already crossed territorial lines, and if there was one thing this particular clan hated more than howling wolves, it was human men. "You'll do what I tell you," Charles insisted.
"But
while you're under my roof, Max MacKilligan."
"Oh, God." Brown eyes rolled dramatically. "Not the speech."
"Move your asses," he ordered the girls, before adding, "or I can go get your sister and she can—"
4 of the girls abruptly sprinted off toward the pack house before Charles had the chance to finish his threat.
But Max stood there, smirking at him.
"That was beneath you," she told him.
"Was it, though?"
Max laughed and started off, but before she could disappear into the surrounding woods, Charles told her,
"The new alpha female has been making some noise about you and your sisters."
Max stopped, but didn't turn around, but he could see her shoulders tighten,
just a bit, but enough. "I don't want Charlie to hear about it," he went on. "She's got enough on her plate right now. There's some bidding war going on between universities that want your baby sister. Charlie is trying to deal with all that without a lawyer. This will just stress her out even—"
"I've got it," Max said, but she wasn't standing where she had been.
She'd already disappeared into the trees.
"Hi, Betsy." Betsy